Hope you're all doing well. So today, guys, we're going to be talking about Pearl Bailey, Queen Latifah, and Lizzo. As you guys can see from the thumbnail picture, they look exactly alike to each other, all three of them. 11 months ago, I made a brief video about Queen Latifah and Pearl Bailey, and from this side-by-side collage, they look so much alike. Today, we're going to be getting into a more detailed video, especially with this Lizzo character. Pearl Bailey is so far the potential base of their physical appearance. So a connection between Pearl Bailey and Queen Latifah is Pearl Bailey was born in March and Queen Latifah was also born in March. Queen Latifah was born March 18th, 1970, which matches to Melissa, which is Lizzo's first name, matches to body positivity, which is the agenda that Lizzo tries to push, which I'll be getting to later into this video. Ironically matches to Queen Latifah's first and middle name, and it matches to Diamond and Orange. Diamond is another word used for demon. March 29th, 1918, which is Pearl Bailey's birthday, matches to Queen with 73. Her next character has Queen in their stage name. They love names like Queen and King to rep being superior than others. It's pride in plain sight. A connection between Queen Latifah and Lizzo is they both share L's in their stage name. Lizzo's middle name, Vivian, matches to Gluttony, Pearl May Bailey, which is Pearl Bailey's full name, and Jefferson, which is Lizzo's last name. So the fact that she matches with her last name shows that she's a scripted character, and she matches to Gluttony. Her character is completely surrounded around Gluttony. And here's a side-by-side of Queen Latifah and Lizzo, and they look so much alike. And here's another side-by-side. Dana Owens, which is Queen Latifah's real name, equals 48 in a reverse reduction cipher. Melissa also equals 48 in a reverse reduction cipher, so they both match up. The prime number of 48 is 223, which is associated with Skull and Bones 322. The Lizzo character has a huge agenda, which is to make being overweight acceptable. The ultimate agenda with this is to normalize overly indulging into things. So overly indulging into food, relations, and drinking, smoking, etc. So right here, this is a photo that I found quite disturbing. She's kissing the mirror, and it seems harmless at first. Pride, aka vanity, literally displays the woman kissing the mirror, and pride is defined as an excessive belief in one's own abilities that interferes with the individual's recognition of the grace of God. Something else to note is that pride is where all of the other sins arise, so pride is a root of all of the other sins, and at the end it says pride is also known as vanity. And that's why they promote having a vanity. They promote to girls to have vanities to do your makeup. It's all pride. It's all being so captivated and in love with your physical appearance and your own abilities, etc. So, of course, she's doing the same exact pose, kissing the mirror, just like one of the default photos of pride. So her name on Instagram is Lizzo B Eating. And something I found very weird, because she didn't put like any underscores or anything, so automatically it makes the word B-E-E. And I found that very ironic, considering that back in 2008, Queen Latifah was in this movie called The Secret Life of Bees. And as you guys know, they use bees a lot in masonry. Pretty much all of the cults, they use bees a lot. It symbolizes their community and kind of like the parts they play towards an agenda that they are pushing. So her Instagram name, Lizzo Be Eating, matches to Pearl Bailey, and it matches to Lizard. So the oldest photo on Lizzo's Instagram is March 20th, 2013. And of course it's an upside down photo, and she's eating, I think, a pickle or something like that. And it's upside down on purpose. They like to rep that they're twisted, so they do things like odd rebel behavior type of tactics. For example, like flipping the photo upside down, reversing photos, just things that ultimately go against the natural order. And so the caption, ironically, was "Be eating, comma, my friends." And I thought that was weird, because later her Instagram name is what we see now, Lizzo Be Eating. So what's the chances that her oldest post on Instagram back in 2013 has Be Eating in the caption? And this caption matches to Gluttony Sin and Nephilim. Also, it was posted in March. The two characters that she comes from, Pearl Bailey and Queen Latifah, both were born in March. So this whole entire name, Lizzo Be Eating, upfront representation of gluttony. So gluttony is defined as habitual greed or excessive eating. And as you guys can see from this photo, the guy is drowning himself in alcohol. The other guy is stuffing his face with so many burgers, and he has a whole thing of burgers right there. And then there's a supersized cup. There's so many details in this photo surrounding gluttony. So May Bailey, which is Pearl Bailey's middle and last name, matches to gluttony sin. So it was just already pre-scripted for her to have this type of character later. And here we go, Lizzo eating donuts, I think this is. She has a lot of photos where she's just obsessively stuffing her face. That is not something to be glorified. Here's another photo. She's laying in Skittles, and her caption is obviously very rude. Taste the rainbow, B word. Yeah, just very provocative. She blatantly takes photos like this. She covers it up and try to say that it's body positivity when actually it's like a signal to tell people, hey, it's okay to just continuously eat a lot and not really care. And right here, I decided to black out some of this photo because she is blatantly just nude in a lot of her photos. I don't know if people are fully desensitized to this, but it's not normal. No one should be posting themselves nude. They go against the entire way of life. Everything that they promote goes against the entire way of life. I highly recommend to not follow anything that they are doing and to unprogram from everything that they are doing because it's all wrong. No one is supposed to be posting themselves nude. And of course, she's repping Taurus season. They love repping zodiacs. And so that post obviously was dealing with body positivity also. Body positivity just so happens to match with Melissa with 78. And here we go, another photo where she's nude. This is just an agenda. And then right here, she's dressed up as a pig, which is very telling because pigs are slothy. You know, pigs are greedy and they are just connected to a lot of analogies of sin. And the fact that she is dressed up as a pig, it's just like a nasty joke. This character purposely acts this way and put out all this cosplay of stuff that obviously represents gluttony or sloth behavior. And her nails are orange, representing masonry. Ironic because her full name matches with masonry with 105. And here's another photo of her dressed up as a pig. But the weird thing about this photo is that she has a snake surrounding her. And I found that to be very weird considering what is the connection between a snake and a pig. But as usual, they're always adding something obviously symbolic or repping their set, you know. Her name Lizzo just so happens to equal 88. And that reminded me of the snakes because they make the 8, okay, the figure 8. Lizzo sounds like lizard. Lizzo just so happens to be born in 1988. What is the chances that Lizzo matches to 88 in the ordinal cipher and she's born in the year 88? Lizzo matches to lizard and Dana, which is Queen Latifah's first name. The fact that she matches to multiple reptilian-based things and has photos doing things like having a snake wrapped around her, etc. It's in plain sight. So I want to talk about braids real quick. I'm going to do a whole video about hair because hair is a huge agenda that they've pushed for many years. I mean, programming many generations of people with hairstyles. And I think a lot of people have been blinded by the fact, I know that I have came to a deep understanding of hairstyles, and I will be doing a video about that, but very brief in this video, I want to talk about braids, dreads, etc. So, as you guys can see from this very disturbing photo, this is a snake, reptilian, whatever you want to call it, and it has the braids. This is Queen Latifah, and she has braids in her hair. And instantly when I seen this, I thought it was a snake. It literally looks like a snake programmed into that system of getting your hair braided very young, thinking that that's normal, dreads, thinking that all that stuff is normal, but that's not us. That is making yourself into these reptilian children or these reptilian kind. That's something that we're not supposed to be doing, and I will show you guys some verses about that. And it's very disturbing because a lot of things that we are doing in our life is pagan. Comes a point in time where you have to sit down and look up where is the origin of all these things and really decide and decipher whether you're supposed to be doing it or not. Right here it says braiding, plaiting, weaves, wigs, and dreads, paintings, and makeup are signs of rebellion and paganism practice. Braids and plaiting your hair along with dreading your hair, it's all representations of terrors. So if you guys don't know what terrors are the children of the wicked one. So basically the children of Satan. So be wary of doing these things that could associate you with this group of people. If you're not a wicked person, if you're not a child of wickedness, you shouldn't be doing this. It can be avoided It is not necessary. It's just representations of these tears. Why do you think all of them have braids, dreads, or any of these hairstyles? And even with wigs and weaves, you have to braid down your hair in order to sew on this hair that comes from someone else's head. And having expensive human hair is not a flex. That is creepy. That comes from someone else's head. You do not know what they are carrying or what they've been going through and what the actual process is of this hair. I had seen a video that showed that this lady, she was giving her hair up because she couldn't pay her rent or whatever. So obviously there's stress going on. You don't know what she's into, what the whole story is. And so she gives her hair up to this guy for just not even that much money, just for like 1 month rent or something like that. And it's at a temple, so you don't know what type of temple this is. And at this temple, it's just all these men, they have the hair in this bucket, and then it's just so much energy being placed on this hair. So I highly recommend stop. Fake hair, stop. It's self-hate. The markets, all of these makeup companies, hair companies, braiding companies, etc., whatever it is, all of these cosmetic companies leech off insecurities. So really just look at the whole thing for what it is and see the whole facade and see what it is, and just really look at everything for what it is, and you will see why is it so promoted. Why is it that every female celebrity has a weave, wig, or braids, okay? Or why every male celebrity has braids or dreads? Why? And they try to, these woke people try to say, oh, dreads, call them locks, but it still has negative connotations behind it. Locks and dreads have negative connotations behind it. Just be very careful with all that stuff because it does stem from paganism, and a lot of people have this deep program in their head that we're supposed to be doing this also when we're not. That's all for them and it's all for their gods. So when you have these hairstyles, you are manifesting on yourself some type of evil spirit upon yourself. I do believe that fake eyelashes and hair weaves and braids have possession behind it. Considering how people act when they get it, that's a no-brainer. I do think that there's possession behind these type of hairstyles, and that's why they're promoted so much. So 1 Peter chapter 3 verse 3 through 4 says, whose adorning let it not be that outward adorning of plaiting the hair and of wearing of gold or of putting on apparel. So basically saying we should not try to overly obsess with the outside appearance. As you see with the Egyptians, who were these terrors, the wicked ones, they wore the braids, they wore the gold, they were very flashy, and it was all towards their, in quotations, lowercase g, okay? Something that they were worshiping. So we see now the celebrities were those back in the day, and we see now that they're still trying to push those same agendas, okay? And then 1 Timothy chapter 2 verse 9 says, in like manner also that women adorn themselves in modest apparel. Okay, so stopping right there. Have you seen any celebrity really honestly promote modest apparel, sagging, showing cleavage, etc.? Just go look all this stuff up, guys, and really just invest time into modest apparel and all these paganistic type of hairstyles, etc., and you'll be shocked. And then it says, with shamefacedness and sobriety, not with braided hair, aka braided hair, or gold, or pearls, or costly airy, meaning costly attire or apparel. And they try to promote expensive bags, expensive jewelry, expensive this and that. It's all pointless. It means absolutely nothing, especially once you deprogram from that. It means absolutely nothing, okay? And that goes into the long nails, etc. It's all excessiveness, and obviously it has to mean something, because why is it all being promoted? You'll realize how it all has some type of pagan origin. So April 27th, 1988, which is Lizzo's birthday, matches to LATIFAH, matches to her middle name, matches to Pearl May Bailey and Gluttony. While she was dressed like this, she was rapping Glorilla's song FNF. And as you guys know, I made a video a month ago about Glorilla and all her characters, but one character in particular that I mentioned in that video was MC Lyte. Lizzo comes from Queen Latifah, and she's listening to Glorilla, who's a new rapper now, and their, in quotations, base characters used to be close. So right here, we're going to get into some of the other characters involved in this. So Lizzo had posted this photo with SZA. One of the comments were from Tamar Braxton. So two other characters that I do believe is involved in this is Kim Whitley and Toni Braxton. So it is ironic that Tamar Braxton, Toni Braxton's sister, comment on a Lizzo post when young Toni Braxton favors Lizzo, and so does Kim Whitley. They both favor Lizzo, but it's not fully because they have their own group of characters, but you can see it. Like, I can see it personally. Like right here, I see Lizzo when I look at this Kim character, and here's another side by side I made of Kim and Lizzo. Ironic connection is that SZA and Lizzo are really close, and here's Toni Braxton and Brandy, and as you guys know, Brandy and SZA, their appearance come from each other. So right here is this old photo of SZA and Lizzo. Of course, Lizzo has on this red wig, and SZA's shirt says NASA, which is Satan without the T. Of course, Queen Latifah and Brandy are very close. Here's one photo of them together, and here is Lizzo and SZA. So same characters, different font. That type of situation. Again, they do this a lot. So Lizzo randomly has this video with Trina, and here's Trina and Queen Latifah. So this character Lizzo loves doing cosplay, so she basically dressed up and recreated Dr. Dre's album cover, The Chronic. That's a huge connection considering that Eazy-E and Queen Latifah have this photo together, and Eazy-E was part of NWA with Dr. Dre. Lizzo was recently trending because she reenacted this, and this is not something to hype up. It's literally called Blue Monday, which, like it says at the bottom, depicts a woman struggling to pull herself out of bed on Monday morning. So yeah, everyone has those days, but associated with possession, usually there's some type of demon over you that's making you feel this type of way and trying to suck you into getting into this sad, depressed, moping mood. So sloth has been defined as a failure to do things that one should do. So right here, she has this photo, and she said this picture was taken in 1985. Pure mockery, plain sight, just admitting. They do this a lot where they'll like say something like this. Of course, she's doing one eye and she's doing the horns. Lizzo has this music video, Juice, where obviously she's imitating the 80s. And then here's another photo. It looks like she's imitating the 60s. Queen Latifah was in this movie called Bessie, which is about another old celebrity. And she looks nothing like her. They could have did better with Find a Person. So the reason I'm showing you guys all these older things that Lizzo and Queen Latifah have done, because it is paying homage towards them coming from an older character and being around for such a long time. They've been through each era, okay? Different vessels, but they've been through each era. So right here is a scene in that movie Bessie, and I guess that lady liked other women, and that's a whole agenda in itself. So right here is Queen Latifah, and she's doing the horns. All the celebrities, including Lizzo, love Christmas. They do all these photos dedicated towards Christmas, and her caption says Santa Baby, aka Satan. And then she has this photo where she's holding these two girls. And then look at her face. She looks really demonic and evil. Make sure you guys go check out the Christmas video on Patreon, where I dive into pagan holidays. I mainly dive into the Christmas one. Pagan connections with Christmas. Like, so many details behind it. And all of this stuff is the worship of idols. So, for example, wearing a hair weave, wearing the braids, etc. You know, all the cosmetic stuff that it's just excessive. That's worshiping idols also, so that's just something to take in consideration. Now, these photos I found very disturbing. So you see they have the golden ear, and then they're like talking mess, and they have the shocked facial expression. These are very disturbing photos. And then they have gold, they're wearing gold. Then the wing eyeliner representing the Egyptian time period where they wore that for a particular lowercase g. And the long excessive nails, of course. Like, all of this is excessive. This is not attractive. People need to get out of the program of thinking any of this is attractive. These fake wigs, all of this is a big agenda. You know, it's a huge agenda, and it's not attractive. And then right here, she's doing a middle finger, but also like keeping something silent. And there's a lot of verses I want to mention towards all of this. So Romans Chapter 1, verse 29 says, "They are filled with all kinds of wickedness, evil, greed, and vice. They are full of jealousy, murder, fighting, deceit, and malice. They gossip." So gossiping is not good, and that's what we see that's happening in this photo. And then the next verse is Proverbs chapter 17 verse 4 says, "Evil people listen to evil ideas and liars listen to lies." So you see how she's like telling her stuff and she's listening, like she's showing her ear, and that just represents how evil listens to evil ideas, etc. Psalms 101 verse 5 says, "I will get rid of anyone who whispers evil things about someone else. I will not tolerate anyone who is proud and arrogant." So it all comes down to pride. And then Exodus 23 says, "Do not spread false rumors and do not help a guilty person by giving false evidence." Proverbs 11 verse 13 goes on to say, "No one who gossips can be trusted with a secret, but you can put your confidence in someone who is trustworthy." Psalms 34 verse 13 says, "Then hold back from speaking evil and from telling lies." And Proverbs chapter 16 verse 28 says, "Gossip is spread by wicked people. They stir up trouble and break up friendships." And here we go, they're wearing the pink and blue, paying homage to the flag. This is their ultimate agenda, to have people doing very immoral things. And right here, it's all paying homage to the bath, and they really love the bath. It's a animal, but it's two genders, and it's just weird, and that's just how they operate. And this is why she posts Prince. She posted him and said that they miss him. It's because he was that big agenda. He was a representation of both genders, you know, and that's their favorite agenda. I found her flyer for her tour to be very weird. So for one, the drawing of this thing had 3 breasts, which is creepy. It's like creature type stuff that they're hinting at. And look at the caption. It says, "Good as H tour." Okay, they always try to make H seem like it's good when it's not. It's not a brag. It's not somewhere to go. And basically the tour is that. Going to their concerts and tours are very weird. So Queen Latifah's full name matches to Pearl and Queen Latifah, so it matches to her stage name also, meaning she was scripted to have that. Melissa matches to Dana Owens and Homicide with 48. Jefferson, which is Lizzo's last name, matches to Pearl May. Queen Latifah's middle name and Lizzo's middle name. May matches to Pearl Bailey's full name and matches to Queen. And make sure you guys go check out this live stream. We got into a lot of details and a lot of interesting topics. So yeah guys, Pearl Bailey, Queen Latifah, and Lizzo are all the same. Thank you guys so much for watching and truly appreciate all of you guys so much.